What's up, guys? Welcome. We are here with InThaDen podcast, episode 1. We are coming to you guys once again. Meaning you've never seen us before, but here we are. And we're going to be bringing some hot topics to you guys, man. We hope you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy. And on the panel, we have several women. I am the only man on this podcast so far. I got to have something you guys do. Make sure you hit us up, inbox, let us know what's up. Because I'll definitely bring you up on the panel if you are me. If you're not me, you can't come up on the panel. All right? But anyway, we got several women that we have that's going to be bringing a lot of heat. Just imagine I have to be dealing with all this, man. So y'all got to feel sorry for me. But it is what it is, man. We're going to be talking about some hot topics. These women up here that you guys see, they will be talking about a lot of things and bringing it, and I'm going to have to be, riding along the way with it. So we're going to let them introduce themselves, man. So I want everybody to come on, tell them who y'all are, man. We got starting at the top, man. We're going to let them tell y'all who they are. We're going to let the first one, whoever want to come up, tell who you are. We're moving it on around the panel. Let's go, y'all. Let's make it happen.
What's up, fam? What's up? This is Jimmy Don, a.k.a. Bro. Y'all gonna get to know me and get some good old advice.
Right.
Hey, it's your girl, Chantel. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yes, we are going to have some very in-depth conversations. I'm going to throw a few jokes in there. I hope your ears is open so you can catch them. We're going to have a good time.
Chantel, why are you trying to make everybody think, man, they're going to be able to call you on the 1-900 line here shortly? You got that 1-900.
Look.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
They just might.
Hello, my name is Rosa.
Oh, go ahead, Rosa.
Hey, y'all,
No,
we
you
excited.
good. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Oprah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Well, I'm Opur. It's OPURRRRRR. But no, I'm Opur with the wild card here. So, hello.
Opur. Boom.
Hello, this is Rosa, and I'm nervous, excited, but this is the place to be.
All right, yeah. Y'all know what? Let me tell y'all something. That's one thing about so many women up on the panel. It's like they love to talk, but then they so hesitant about talking when it's their time to talk. And oh my God. So guys, we got this coming to you, man. Y'all make sure y'all have your ears pinned back and open up and ready to roll. So the first topic, man, we going off into, we got a lot of hot topics, man. But they want to talk about some things, man, that you guys will be definitely just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But we're gonna get into it. So we're gonna let Chantel tell y'all, man, how it's coming. Man, Chantel, what we got going on, man? What is that topic we wrote?
Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it tonight. First topic, we're gonna get into men and women hygiene. We feel like this is a good topic to just jump right on into. Just so that y'all are aware, whether it's for, romantic purposes, if it's for work purposes, or just intermingling with your friends and family. We feel like there's a few hygiene things that people just really don't pay attention to that they need to open their eyes to. So let's get into it. Oprah, go ahead and, jump us on off and talk to us about these hygiene issues you've been experiencing. That you need to be, brought
You know what?
with
Now
it.
she don't want to talk. Man, come on, over. Tell them who you've been talking about.
So I have ran across some funky people. And I'm just tired of it, to be honest.
What you tired of? Like, you got to give us some specifics so we can get into it.
Okay, so my main key factor is men be out here just smelling like work all day. And they just think maybe this is a manly smell, but it's really not because it stinks. Like sweat stinks. And I don't know if they just have like a real vigorous job, but they need deodorant and they need like a strong 24-hour body wash because they smell bad.
A 24-hour body wash. So where
Like
are
a
you come?
deodorant to
So
help it be a little dry because
so where you coming across these funky men at? Is it at work? Is it just you shopping in the store?
so if I'm at work, they like stop in or they're like, oh, I just got off of work and they smell and it's like sometimes they be in like suit and tie, but they just be like they smell so strong and it's just like wow.
Well, well,
Wow.
why you that close to smell them? Why are you that close to them to smell them like that?
Why they skin smell that loud?
Why are you so close? I mean, but you got to be mighty close to their skin to be smelling them.
She
I
said
don't
when they
have
smell
to.
it.
Not really.
No, for real. Like
No.
if I sit across from you from my desk, that's enough space. And I got a little plexiglass at my desk. But sometimes it's like they just that air walk past and that air don't smell like dry spray or degree. It smell like
Mm-hmm.
hotness.
So you saying it's just men smell like that?
I mean, no, I smell some funky women too, but men just act like they don't stink. But women know they
Man,
stink because you can just smell it.
They
But
do,
men
but
act like they
it's
don't stink. When they
Yes.
mm-hmm. And there's some
well,
women who stink, but they ignore it, and they know. Oh, they know.
you know what?
right.
I think women
You
actually
on
have
mute?
a louder odor. Hold on. I think women have a louder odor than
Mute.
men do.
Yeah.
I think women have a louder odor than
Well,
men.
explain that.
In
Explain
reference to
that.
what part of the
You want me
body?
to explain that? You
Yeah.
want me
Yeah,
to explain it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Split.
Split.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
you talking walk? What you talking? I mean,
Uh,
don't be bashful.
I,
What you talking?
I guess it splits when it walks and it smells when it tails.
Let me, TJ, let me ask you. Okay, so since we're talking about that, TJ,
Oh my God.
give us some ways or tell us some ways how you would approach a woman that is dealing with that particular situation. How would you approach a woman?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Why would
good.
I even
Yeah.
approach her? Why would I
Listen,
approach?
No.
answer the question, TJ.
Wait
Since
a
I'm
we
minute.
just
have
saying.
women that
Take off
smell,
the tape. Take off the table that you buried. Don't even use that
No,
card.
what I'm saying. Why would I even approach her if she smelled? Why would I? I
listen,
wouldn't want to approach her.
okay, first of
What if
all,
y'all are already dating? So change the
you
scenario.
you didn't
Okay.
recognize, you did not
Okay.
even recognize that she smelled until a certain specific scenario or
Well, I'm gonna
situation.
tell you like this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. In any case such as that, any man that comes intact with a woman that at that point and it's an odor and it stinks, at that point, nothing can really. I mean, I don't see how anything can even move forward because it kills the whole mood. I mean, everything just completely goes downhill. I mean, it's like, I mean, you go from here to here. I mean, it's like
What if it was someone you was
it's nothing.
interested in?
That's what I'm told. I told him to look at it as
Okay,
if
What
he
if it
yeah,
was
dating that
someone?
that's what
person.
I'm saying. Hold on, that's what I'm saying. If it's somebody you kicking it with, you see what I'm saying? If it's
Mm-hmm.
somebody you actually interested in, and and it come to that point, and cause see, that to me is a deal breaker. Because see,
So
It
if
I got
you're
can
another
doing
be.
that,
question.
TJ, you
if
did
you're
not answer my question. I said, how would you approach a young lady if you was in that
He
situation?
is deflecting.
What would you
no.
say to the
What would
woman?
would
Yes,
I
what would
tell
you
her that
say?
I
Huh?
would not tell her per se. I would hope that she, because I'm not like that to just tell a woman, "Hey, you got an odor." I'm not. I can't
So
do
you want
that.
her walking
I,
around with the odor with several
I,
of
I,
But okay,
Because
so
I'm like this.
let's
I'm
just
like
take
this.
the let's
Once she
take
get out
the
my sight, it's on somebody else's problem at that point.
Oh
Oh,
Lord.
TJ,
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
Lord.
So just real quick, like some people become immune to their own scent. Like they just get
True.
like
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
people that smoke cigarettes, weed, or whatever they smoke, or like people that go to the gym all the time. They're just so used to their smell that they're nose blind to it. So here we are being blinded by the smell. But maybe they do need somebody to be like, hey, you don't smell fresh, or hey, you don't smell clean, or hey,
Mm-hmm.
that smell that you think is masculine on you actually really smells like sweat and
Funk.
butt when you need to get in the
Mm-hmm.
shower. So it's like if a person is nose blind to their own funkiness, I feel like it is up to us as a community to tell them that they stink.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's best to move out the community and go to another.
Honestly, no, because like for real, like so TJ, if you were interested in a female and y'all had took the time to get to know each other, went on several dates, spent a little bit of
Yeah.
time together, and it came to that point where y'all decided y'all wanted to be intimate. If she did not smell appropriate for you, are you just fixing to walk away? Are you not going to tell her, hey, look, no? I said, like, just be real. Honestly, I do want this to
I
happen,
understand.
but the way how the air smell, I, I can't get
I
down.
can't. I would not reflect it toward um the smell. I know how to maneuver things to make up an excuse for myself to
Mm-hmm.
not interact with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, to kind of get myself out of that, position. Because see,
Mm-hmm.
I just could not tell a person just straight up, hey, you, especially if you're looking nice, really looking
Mm-hmm.
nice, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you're like, bam, you're like, what
Mm-hmm.
the living crap? Because see, apparently, like what old Pearl just said, people can get immune to their own smell and they don't
Mm-hmm.
even see it, you know. And at
They
that point,
can,
I'm sitting up
but
there,
it,
I mean, I'm
Some
like,
people
I don't care.
ignore it.
everybody's
Some
some
people
people.
ignore it.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah,
everybody's not raised the same. Okay.
That's
So
correct.
for example, women, we have a monthly. Okay. We have
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Flo. We
oh,
have Katrina. Okay. And she comes every single month. But some women were not brought up or raised to know
right.
that once Katrina go away after those 3, 4, 5, 7 days, you don't need to immediately have intercourse with anybody, sex with anybody. You need to pause for a day so the rest of that can come on up out of you, and that smell can change. Like your body can go ahead and level back out. But some women weren't taught or raised to know
Correct.
that they don't immediately
And
Yeah.
engage
just
in
kind of to
sex the
piggyback
day
off
after
of
they
what
I,
period.
she's saying,
What were you saying,
like
Oprah?
just to piggyback off of what she's saying is just to piggyback off of what she's saying. I went to school with this girl, and I remember just so vividly because we were in the locker rooms, and like it was that time where she was on that time of the month, and we were going swimming this day, and everyone's
Mm-hmm.
out of the pool, and we're taking showers, and she's like, "Well, my mom says." This time of the month is when my body is cleaning itself, so I don't take showers when I'm having that time of the month. So of course, she smelled bad, but she just wasn't taught the right way to clean
Mm-hmm.
herself when you're supposed to take a
Yeah.
bath during this time. You Just because your body is
Exactly.
cleansing itself, that doesn't mean you don't cleanse your body. So it's like it was like a whole big ordeal because you had a whole group of girls like trying to school her and teach her like, yeah, still need to take a bath because you smell. But some people honestly and truthfully just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that
that's
is
true.
hereditary. That is hereditary, as Chantil stated. That goes back. It's a generational thing. Hate to say it's a curse or anything like that, but I've heard of the same thing. You know, you
Yeah.
shouldn't take a shower. I most definitely
Mm-hmm.
taking a bath, but you shouldn't take a shower during that time, and that's just wrong. That's
I've
totally
never heard that. I heard you shouldn't take a bath
Me either.
during that time, that you're supposed to take a shower so that the water, the soap, everything runs off of you. But you
right.
don't sit back in that water, especially during
Right.
your monthly. You don't sit in the water. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
like before, like everybody was just raised differently. Like if you're, I was taught when you take a bath, You don't sit back in that water after you have lathered your body with soap. If anything, you're going to, kneel down on your knees and rinse the soap off, but you're not physically sitting your bottom back in that water, back in that dirt when you take a bath.
Okay, but what about, all right, let me ask y'all this then. Let me ask y'all this. Since we got a panel full of women. All right, I don't know who all have daughters up here. Who all have daughters? Do anybody have daughters besides Rosa?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, how would you guys approach your daughter far as taking care her hygienes and even from a mom to daughter talk, what would be your conversation with your daughter to, how you would take care of your hygienes to prevent such a thing like that?
With my
Well,
daughter, especially during her monthly, like everything I just told you, number one, you're going to take a shower. You're not going to sit back in any type of water when you're on your monthly. If you want to take a bath on the opposite weeks, you're welcome to do that. I've talked to her about, she's only 12, but about how many times during the day she should be changing her sanitary napkin or her pad during that week or that time. We've even talked about the deodorant. My little girl is so OCD. She don't want no odor. She got to have a tube of deodorant for home, and she want one in her purse or her book bag for school. We've just talked in depth about the whole hygiene thing, and she's very vigilant on her own hygiene. She don't even want to, have a smell. But that took time, because when she was 5 and 6, she didn't care. If she outside playing hard, coming in the house, she don't care about being musty. It's like, no, you're a girl.
That's a
Get in the
growth.
tub.
That's a growth thing. That's a growth
Yeah.
thing. What do you say, Rosa?
What you say, Rosa?
well, with my daughter, they're older girls, and I don't like they really know like how we take a bath. So when they're on their period, like my daughters don't take a bath when they're not on their period. We do a lot of showers. That's only because when I was younger, my like taking a bath would throw my pH balance off a lot. And so that's another thing with women, and they don't understand. You have to know the soap and what product to use to not throw that pH balance off, because
That's
that
right.
can cause smells as well. But they don't understand that. If you don't know, you just don't know if nobody tells you about it. But with
Yeah.
my girls, there we don't take baths. We take a lot of showers, and I noticed they have very sensitive skin, just like me. And so, when my daughter she tried to use like body wash for her, you know, privacy part, and I said, "You cannot do that." She said, "Why, mom? All my friends, they're using." I said, "Your body is just like mine. I know." And so telling her that, and when it happened, it threw it off, and she said, "I keep itching and blah blah." I said, "That's why I told you you cannot use body wash in that area. You have to use soap." So I buy bacteria soap. So when after that time of the month, we just continue to use the same soap. We don't change up on nothing. I don't change up on because when you wash your clothes, you got to pay attention to that. Women, you cannot wash your clothes in different washing powder. You can't do that either, because that'll
And
do the
that's a
exact
good.
same thing.
Yeah, that's something I learned with me and my kids before, because we have this thing called eczema. But we use
Mm-hmm.
eucerin lotion. So, like the soap that we only use white Dove soap. If we
Yep.
use anything other, it's going to be like some Dial antibacterial. I do use body wash. However, if either one of my kids want to take a bath, I allow them to take a bath, but I also put vinegar in the wash in the bath, especially with my
Vinegar?
little girl. I put about a half of
I've
a
never
cup of
heard. I've
vinegar.
never heard of that vinegar.
Yes,
I've heard of
Yes.
I've,
Clorox.
I put Clorox, but I put about a fourth of a cup of Clorox, half of a cup of vinegar. It's going to help maintain the pH balance, and it's also going to clean. Yeah, any bacteria. It's going to be cleaned. But they
Hey,
can't take
a
a.
bleach bath.
Auntie, what'd you say?
Jimmy Don.
Yeah, you can't take a bubble bath without putting vinegar in that bubble bath. If not, they will get well. With me and mine, you will get a yeast infection. That vinegar has to go in that bubble bath.
Oh,
And then that Clorox kind of cleanses. So if her pH balance is off because maybe she used the wrong soap or whatever, that Clorox plus that vinegar mix with the tub of water is going to clean her and get her pH balance back on track.
Okay.
Yeah, that pH balance, I'm serious, man. That might be the case
Yeah.
with a lot of them.
Oh,
Let me piggyback on something. I want to get y'all's thoughts on on this, and I think this also has a lot to do with teaching. So since we've gotten a little bit deeper than I thought that we were going to get, and bringing other topics up,
we're gonna talk about men too now.
Huh?
Yeah, because you see how TJ switched it to all women, but we're gonna go ahead and ride.
This doesn't pertain to men. Do you all teach your daughters with their sanitary napkins? Because it makes me sick of my stomach. You teach your daughters to put those sanitary napkins in newspaper, paper towel, not just throw it in the garbage can. I don't get that. I have never got that.
I do. I don't like it. That's disgusting.
That's the most trifling.
You have grown women doing that now. It's nasty, but they're doing it.
Nasty.
Yeah. I grew up taught to always to conceal it. I'm not gonna say whatever you can wrap it up, but I was always taught to conceal it. Like that was just something my mom was big on. Like privacy. You roll those things up and then toss them in the trash. But other than that, I mean,
no.
I've worked in places with different people to where they didn't conceal theirs, or
like we don't want to smell that. We don't want to smell that. You need to use your old. You need to use your old or new pad paper. So if you changing pads, take that pad paper, wrap it back up in that pad paper, or take 3 or 4 squares of tissue and wrap that pad up in that tissue.
Or maybe a whole roll of tissue.
Depends on how foul they smell.
You just imagine you walk up in the public bathroom or public restroom, and it look like somebody of them been butchered to death up in what?
They do it. I don't even understand how they walk out the bathroom. They know they just used it, and they see blood and all of that in the toilet, and they will not flush. Their mind will tell them, "Oh, this automatic flush." Okay, press that button on the side of that box and flush it. Nobody wants to see that.
All right. Yeah. Now we done talked that. We're gonna get off the women because see women.
But one more thing on the women. One more thing on the women because I
tried to get off the women.
But look, I highly promote or advocate this, and some women need to know this. Number one, if your pH balance is off and you're on your cycle and you have a really big odor. Okay, number one, go to the pharmacy and get you they have women probiotics now for you to take when you are on your monthly or take towards the end of your monthly to kind of help you push the rest of that bacteria out of your body. And so a lot of women don't know that. They still walk around with that odor or that smell when they could kind of help it. Get a woman's probiotic and take 2 or 3 the last 2 or 3 days of your cycle, 1 a day, and it'll help flush that bacteria from the rest of your body so that you can keep pushing. And then another thing, I'm sorry, I got to put this out there because with the environments I have worked in, I feel like women need to know this. If you go to the restroom and there is a strong odor, you probably need to go to the doctor, whether you believe you have something or not. You might not have a VD. You might not have a venereal disease, but you might have a bacteria infection. And the bacteria infection can give off an odor. And there's several different ways that you can get that bacteria infection. Like Rose talked about how you can use the wrong soap, the wrong body wash, and you'll give yourself a bacteria infection and you'll have an odor. Then you have those other women who you might be married. I'm not even going to say, you could be single, you could be married, and you could be in a committed relationship with somebody. But your boyfriend, your husband, spunk don't agree with your body. And it'll give you a bacteria infection because their sperm, their spunk, whatever you want to call it, it don't agree with your body, and it'll make your body start giving off an odor. Because a lot of women don't even understand that when you're in a relationship with a man, your body has to adjust to their body. So in the beginning, when y'all are intimate, you might immediately get a bacterial infection because your body recognizes that as a foreign substance. But once y'all have been together for a period of time, your body will adjust to it, just like pregnancy. At first, when you get pregnant, you know, your body is reacting to the pregnancy because it feels like it's a foreign substance. It shouldn't be there. That's the same thing with a man's spunk.
So you
all right, Dr. Chantel.
Yes, he did.
I gotta ask this. So you mean I'm gonna ask you this. So are you trying to say men, we always causing a problem some kind of way, huh? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, what you don't think y'all do?
All right. I figured that's what they were saying. Okay, I got you. I got you.
I wasn't trying to put y'all on blast. I'm just trying to let our female listeners know, because a lot of people don't realize, a lot of women don't realize why their body is giving off a discharge or why their body is smelling a certain way. But it's different things that can affect your body.
It's the chemistry, right?
I did hear. As a matter of fact, when I used to go to the the pregnancy class with my kid's mom, and the thing it is, the doctor would even say another way of a woman's body odor being off like that is having multiple sex partners. Multiple sex partners, just by like when you having multiple sex partners like that, it really puts you in a bad position because you're steady fighting, this, bacterial infection, or just like what Chantel just said, your body is not, adjusting to all of this, and not only that, it's
hard for a body to get. And just to kind of say what TJ's saying, like you said, if a woman's having multiple sex partners, of course her body is just going to be like, her pH balance is going to be off. But if a man is having unprotected sex with multiple women, and this one woman is having sex with this one man, but this one man is having multiple sex partners, that's another way for her body to be thrown off, because he's bringing back different. Because just because you take a shower, you ain't washing it completely off of you, because your skin's absorbing things, and you take that and then you put that in somebody else, and you just keep on going, and so that's not gonna let nobody smell good.
And then now Oprah just opened it up because men don't really know how to clean themselves properly.
All right, time out. Yes. Now we want to get to that part. Now we want to say that part. Now we want to say that part.
Look.
But you gotta learn to pull the skin back.
Thank you, Rosa.
Pull the skin back.
Oh,
and clean.
What did Rosa say?
Men have to learn to know. Men have to know or learn that they have to pull the skin back when they're bathing. It doesn't matter if you're circumcised or not. You got to pull the skin back to completely clean. Don't get bashful now, TJ. Since we getting on men, don't get bashful.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know what kind of sheets y'all been dealing with, but you pulling the skin back.
And you know what? It's just like another thing is
Oh,
balls. What?
oh no, what kind of
Go ahead
sheep
and
y'all
say it. I'm
do
not gonna
with
sugarcoat it.
You're not gonna sugarcoat it.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna
what
say
you
it. I'm not gonna.
said?
Them
Okay.
balls, they stink. Like I don't care. Men have different
Oh.
types of balls. You got some tight balls. You got some saggy balls. And the saggy balls be the ones that hurt.
They some of them
It's
hanging
like the
low instead of sitting up tight. Like you
Yeah.
be wanting to tell them they need to get a lift. You know, women trying to get facelifts, men need some balls lifted. Okay.
Hey,
and then you gotta think
but
about it.
hey,
Oh my
Some men
God.
check
got
this
hairy
out though.
butts, so it's like the sweat between all of that they had going on. It just be nasty and it be funky, and they act like they don't know that stuff stink. It stink.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, but check this out though. All right, just like I got, I got sons. All right, I got sons and I got daughters, and I'm huge. I'm huge on their body odors. Period, all the way around. Like my son.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I am very big on their body odors. And not all men. Some men just don't have body odors, stronger body odors. Like me, I do not get musty at all.
Oh, that's your
My
perception?
wife my wife can tell you.
You
I
nose
don't have
blind.
my mom was like that. My mom was like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I
Mhm.
don't have no, body odor. And they say a lot of times it comes from a lot of things that you eat and a
It
Yeah,
lot of
does.
things that
Mhm.
you consume in your body.
It
yeah.
And
does.
so,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Yeah.
don't have, only time I really smell like being outside, smelling sweaty. See what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
for the most part of it, we try to teach
Mhm.
them, my son and them to make sure, like what y'all was saying, which is pretty clear. You wash your butt. You wash your private parts. You wash them like you supposed to pick them up, wash your butt. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you grab whatever you need to grab,
Scrub.
scrub yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And up under your
Mhm.
arms. I mean, up under your arms, you make sure that you scrub under your arms. But see, a lot of men and women, even shortly after they get out the tub,
Mhm.
they perspire so quickly to the point if they
Mm-hmm.
don't put on proper deodorant, then
Immediately.
they'll go smelling musty right off the top. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's just people's body, and like I got a cousin, she
Yeah.
and just to kind of reflect on her, she have to take
Mm-hmm.
shots. She have to literally take shots for it because it was so bad. And
Mm-hmm.
the doctor said it wasn't anything that she wasn't being clean or didn't have good hygienes. It was just her pH, it was
Mm-hmm.
off
Off
bad.
balance.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was off balance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And
I
so she
have
Mhm.
a
had to go to
family
the
member
doctor
like
to take
that.
shots.
I have a
Yeah.
Wow.
family
So
member like that. They can only
Hmm.
use specific deodorants, and they're a
yeah,
female, but they can only use specific deodorants. Like back in the day, that Tussie deodorant.
yeah,
Outside of Tussie, you have the Mitchum, which is very
yeah,
strong. And then also the
So
newer deodorants.
I grew
Degree
up on
is
this.
really good. What
yeah,
you grew up
yeah.
on? Oh,
I grew up on using Mitchum's. Like I'm just
mm-hmm,
because of my mom. She's not a real hairy person, so I don't grow a lot of hair. My body don't have a lot of hair on it. I don't have a lot of armpit sweat
Mhm.
or any of that. But I've always
mm-hmm,
used Mitchum's. And my child's father, at one point, it's like no matter what deodorant he would try, he would just be funky. Like TJ said, it's like he could take a shower and he'd be sitting on the couch, and like 10 minutes later, I'm like, "You put on deodorant because you is smelling loud in here." But I had to like introduce him to some products that I knew. So I'm like, hey, you should try Mitchum's. Like it's way stronger than whatever you're
mm-hmm,
using right now. But you need to get you some Mitchum's up under there. You might want to trim them arm
mm-hmm.
hairs down because it was bad. But like you said, some products you just have to use. Like Mitchum is one of those products that I swear by. So if y'all having some real funky armpits, get
Right.
you some
Hey,
Mitchum.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, let
Another.
me
Okay.
ask you
Yeah,
something. Let me ask you something.
sure.
What age do you think a father or mother should stop bathing their son?
I
Oh, that's
think
a
they
good one.
should.
That's good.
You talking
That
about a
is. That's
woman?
real good.
Now,
Well,
all right. Now, a son. Let me say a son. Now, a son. Um, I would say a son at about the age of 10,
Five,
Huh?
10.
10.
Age
I'm
quit
not
bathing
watching
my
my
son at
10-year
the
old.
age
I'm
of
not
10.
watching him.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Okay, I thought
I'm not.
about 7. I
Yeah,
can't
because see, the
recall.
thing it is,
I'm not
they're
watching
not
my
really
son.
cleaning themselves. They're not really
I
cleaning
agree.
themselves.
I totally
I
agree
mean,
with you.
and see, the thing it is, you have to get in there. You have to get in there and really clean their butt for
Mhm.
them. I mean, I know they feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, you get tired of when you washing their drawers and stuff like that. They have their little streaks and stuff like that. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just kids because they're in a hurry
Yeah,
and they
right.
thinking they're cleaning themselves. But see, even and people don't even realize this even after you use the bathroom and you're cleaning, even though you wipe with tissue, that does not mean you're clean. Because see, it's
No,
wiping the
No.
exactly.
surface, it's wiping the surface, but as soon as you get sweaty, that you wiped into your skin is gonna come off into your undergarment and it's
Right.
gonna begin
And
to
that's why I
smell.
say
Hmm.
men stink.
And
What did you
see,
say,
but
Oprah?
that's the whole she said that's the reason why she said that's the reason why men Well, see, I mean,
Ooh,
but that I
Lord.
mean, me, I have to make sure, man. When I use the restroom, I have to be where I can, it's good to have baby wipes, or it's good to be able to where you can wash up really good. I mean,
Yeah.
because see, and that's what I feel like. But going back to your
Oh
question,
yeah.
I think like 10, 11, because see, they have to still understand the importance of really being clean. Because if not, they
Hmm.
will continue to mold like this, and they won't ever see anything wrong with it.
Well,
They won't ever
let me
see
say
anything.
this. Um, both of my sons cut me off. They said no. And I had no problems with that when they said no, is because I think if you start out teaching them right how to bathe, and
Hmm.
then
Mhm.
it would be like a lesson with me. When they stated that they wanted to bathe themselves, I would say, okay, I sit in the bathroom on the stool and, watch them bathe. It
Yeah,
got to a
yeah,
point that they were just
Yes.
bathing extremely well. So I let it go.
yeah.
But it starts out with teaching your children how to
Mhm.
bathe themselves properly. Some parents just
Hmm.
4 or 5 years old just let their children start. And I just think that's way too early.
And that's
So,
true because see, like what you're saying, but see, in like what you're saying, you still kind of sat in there and watched them.
oh,
So at that point,
Right.
then that forced them to really bathe because they were in that mindset that I want to bathe myself. I want to
right,
bathe myself. And so in
Hmm.
order for me to
Yes.
bathe myself, I got to really show that I can bathe
right.
myself. But and then, like
Mhm.
you said, like with parents telling kids at 5, 6, 7, 6 years old, go in there and take a bath. 3 years old, go in there and take a bath, and ain't
Yeah.
never bathe them, or they might bathe them every now and
Mhm.
then. Oh, they big enough to bathe themselves. No, they're not. How
They're
they know? They
not.
No.
gonna just get
Hmm.
in the
No.
water half of the time they playing in the water. That's all they
Mhm.
doing.
Exactly.
They just
Yeah, I was
playing.
gonna say mine told
Yeah.
me. I think about both of mine told me at 5,
Hmm.
because I would tell them it's bath time. We're gonna run the water, and I taught them how to bathe themselves. And then
Yeah.
towards winging them off at 5, show me that you can do it. And so by
Hmm.
Yeah.
5, the only thing I'm doing is
Hmm.
washing your back for you because you really haven't
Hmm.
learned how to, flip the rag across your back and scrub it your own
Right.
self. So, um,
Yes.
yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, mine
But
learned pretty
yeah,
quickly.
Well,
I
they
think little
learned
girls catch
before
on
they
faster
turned me
anyway.
off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before they said, when they said, no, ma, you can't, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally learned because it was a lesson every night, before they got to that point. So I was comfortable with the fact that
That was
they were
good.
able, to do it on their
Yeah,
own.
but see, I
Right.
think too,
Hmm.
little girls catch on with things like that faster than little boys anyway. Because see, like my little
Yes.
girl now here, like my little girls here, those little girls want to just do their own thing. You see what I'm saying? They want to do their
Mhm.
own thing. They do not
Right.
Mm-hmm.
want, the mom basing them. And every now and then she have to go in there and, peep check them, see what's going on. Especially
Mm-hmm.
if we, if either one of us have smelled like their little body odor off throughout the day, she'll make sure, okay, let me check you. Let me make sure you bathe. But
Right.
on little boys, you constantly smelling, man, look, I'm coming in to make sure you bathe, even if I had to bathe you myself, not me.
Right.
The mama will, but see, and now this is another thing. I'm gonna tell you something. No, that's a different topic. We'll talk about that later. But I honestly feel like it's very important for a little boy to know how to lift himself up, bathe all between his sack, his private part, scrub between his legs, scrub between his butt cheeks to make sure that he's cleaning himself,
Yeah.
and I mean, because it's yourself, and a lot of time they act like they kind of scared to touch their own self, you know. But I think it's very important for them to, And another thing is their feet. They have to learn how
Oh,
to scrub their feet.
why was I just fixing to say that? Because I feel like some
You
people
know,
don't teach their children.
yeah.
Okay, some people, your hygiene, of course, to me, your hygiene on some level is something you can't control, in regards to your sweat glands, because that's something hereditary. So if your dad sweats profusely, you're gonna do it. But I think they need to teach them, like, especially when you become a hardworking man and you might be a blue collar worker. Blue collar, you have a very physical job. You might work in a plant, you might work in retail, whatever the case. But teach them to put their shoes outside. They should, because when they take their shoes off and that odor can fill a room, like, it's just the work shoes need to go outside on the front porch or the deck when they immediately get
Or
off
the
work and
garage.
they know, or the garage, if they know they
Yes.
sweat a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so are you saying women feet don't stink?
I'm not saying that.
Mm.
Because I was gonna
Women,
say, like, I'm be honest. Sometimes my feet
Y'all,
be a little funky, and I
mhm,
ain't
y'all,
because it depends on the
y'all,
flats that I
women.
wear. Like sometimes
it
I
do, it do. But I believe in that
Woo!
odor eater spray. You can get it out the pharmacy section at a CVS, a Walgreens, a
Now,
Walmart. That
let me
odor
ask.
eater spray. Spray them shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Spray them.
You can put
Yeah,
some baking powder in a baking soda in your shoe.
you
That'll help.
can.
All right, let
Mm-hmm.
me
You
ask y'all
can.
a
now
part. Let me ask all of y'all this. Go ahead, Oprah, before I ask this question.
I was just gonna say, Shantia, where I thought you was going with that was like a way you could tell people that wash their feet is because they feet be like real ashy, and I was like, because some people like skip over the foot washing process, and they
Mhm.
feet just be so ashy because of this
Ashy.
buildup from not scrubbing their feet. And I'm like, maybe people that
Yes.
say these people feet be white because they don't clean them, but you went with the feet smell. But yeah,
No, the
so
smell, like they might wash their feet, and then I need men, like really, like men. I need y'all to understand that. Okay, number one, getting your nails done, your hair done, all of that. That's not self care. That's maintenance. Okay, but when it flips on the men's side, y'all getting pedicures. That's self care, and I just need the men to. Ain't nothing wrong with getting a pedicure. That ain't
What
like
that got to do with
that ain't
odor?
make you that ain't
What
make
did
you
that got to do with odor? Do that have
because
anything to do with odor?
all that it do
Can you
it
smell a
do
pedicure
because
or manicure?
I believe it
Can
do
you
because
smell it?
I believe it do because that dead skin and stuff that's caked
Well,
up on y'all feet that y'all ain't doing nothing to do to
well,
get rid of it. It's
stay off the
holding
man
in
feet then. Just
funk as far as
stay off
I'm
the man
concerned.
feet. Hey, well, let me ask y'all up here on the panel
That's
here.
why Chantel's supposed to get some lotion and some scrub stuff and scrub his feet and rub his feet down because he
Lord,
needs
Exactly,
Lord, look,
exactly,
this ain't coming to
exactly.
this
That's
ain't
what.
coming to America, but I ain't even gonna trip.
You got to
I'm not
know
even gonna
this
trip.
sweet girl, all the chemicals
I
and
I
crumbs and
have
If,
done that.
this.
I have done
if
that
you're
for my
gonna
man before.
complain, you might
Gave
as
him a
well help.
whole pedicure. I gave him a whole pedicure at home. Bought the
What
salts
you
and
say?
everything to put in. Scrubbed his feet. That yeah, I did all of that. I've done that before
Oh,
more than once because I
you a
just
bad chick.
because
You a
then
bad
you want to rub them crusty feet on my pretty legs.
Did,
I
did,
need them
did,
feet to be smooth. I just
did you suck his
Them
toes after
short
that?
toenails.
the lies you tell, TJ. I wish I would put a man foot in my mouth. I'm gonna need
You
you.
ain't suck
I'm
his
gonna need
toes.
you.
Oh
They
yes,
have
yes you did.
emotions like
Hey,
that.
no, Shanti, you sucked the toe. Yeah, you sucked the toe. But don't tell that lie. You
Y'all
sucked the
just
toe. Rosa done sucked toes too. Rosa, old part done sucked the toe
Look,
too.
I need you
Hey,
to listen. I
yeah.
need you to listen to the Scott. The
Only
Lord is
somebody
striking.
I
The
can stand the
Lord.
public ain't sucked no toe has been
from
Rose. Roy ain't sucked
experience.
no toe.
From
But
The
all
Lord.
y'all
experience.
in that younger generation, y'all done sucked the
Uh-uh.
toe or two. Y'all done
Hey,
sucked the toe or
No,
two.
from
no,
experience.
Never.
you know Jimmy
Oh,
Down ain't
Never.
sucking no toes, so you keep me out of that.
Yeah,
Just
oh
he
I
did.
God.
said it.
He
No,
Oh,
said
y'all.
he did. He said
I
you the
said
only one that
Jimmy,
haven't.
you the only one hadn't. But the
Oh, I
rest of
Not
thought you
this
y'all,
one.
said Rose
uh,
was.
I said the only
I
one
pledge
hadn't has been
allegiance.
you.
Not this one.
But you know what?
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna tell
TJ.
y'all
I
something.
appreciate that. But I'm
If
gonna say this:
if you
next
want to
to
keep a man, suck his baby
next to
toe.
godliness is cleanliness.
Mhm.
Next to godliness is cleanliness.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm gonna
Oh
tell you
yeah.
from
Hey,
experience,
But
y'all.
look, one last thing. I'm sorry, Oprah.
look,
What was you saying?
if you want to suck his
Oh no,
toe,
I was gonna say from experience. Wait, what happened? If you gonna suck what? What TJ
What you
said?
say? I don't know. I missed it.
I
TJ,
I said if you want to keep your
Like, wait,
man,
what?
if you want to keep your man, make sure you suck his baby toe.
I don't need that one.
See, hell no.
I don't need that one.
I had
Mm-mm.
this
oh
is why I'm
God.
single. Like this is based on his feet because this guy was so sweet to me and he would do anything I asked him to do. And this particular day, I was just like hang out in the summertime and I'm like, hey, can you meet me over here and bring me some money? He was like, well, I just woke up. So I'm not gonna get dressed, but I'm gonna bring you the money. Y'all, that man came over there. His feet was so damn ashy. I'm talking about they were like he had been I can't even explain it. Like he had flour on his feet. They were so ashy. And that was the last day I saw
Oof.
that man because his
Oh,
feet was
But you took
like
that money, didn't you?
Look.
Did you take
She
that
had
money
love.
out?
She had a bill to pay. She took that money.
I took that
But
money,
look, like,
y'all, but I ain't calling back.
look, I don't
Oh,
blame you. Real talk. One more thing on the men's hygiene, okay? One more thing, okay? Now, I do understand, like, we're not going to talk about the women because, number one, most women, we shave under our arms off top. All women don't shave their legs, but all women are not as hairy as some other women are, okay? I can only hope and pray that all women are managing their best friend. They managing their best friend and the pubic hair there. But men, like, I feel like men need to teach their sons and all of that, that as they get older, that's something that they need to manage. They need to manage
Mhm.
how big of a bush of
and
hair is
you
under
know
their
what?
arm or
That
how
you
big
know
of a
what?
bush is
That's true.
down there. Not the legs or the
That's
arms,
true.
but
That's
down
true.
there. The
That's
hair
true.
and
needs
they
to be
need to shave their
Because
managed.
that's what holds a lot of odor. That holds a lot of odor. All that hair,
Yes,
it holds a lot
yes.
Yes.
of
and
odor.
that's why I
And it,
say
a
men
man
stay.
needs to really,
Hmm.
you know what, Oper, you just been scarred. You just been scarred. Yeah, let me tell you. Oh, Oper done been scarred, y'all. From the feet to the ball to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oper,
You
Oper,
say fuck
we
you.
gotta
I
get
just
you some.
can't.
You know
I
what,
gotta go to
Oprah? We gotta
therapy,
get
y'all.
you
I'm
some. We gotta get you some
traumatized.
therapy. Yeah, we gotta get you some therapy.
He said she gotta go to
'Cause you done
therapy.
been
Hey.
scalded. You done been
Oh
scalded.
wow.
Oh my
That
goodness.
man was fucking.
Hmm. But for real,
Oh my
I've
Did I
talked to
take
my
goodness.
it up?
son. I've talked to my son about that managing the growth. Because at one
Hmm.
point he actually did just talking about the underarms for a minute. With him playing sports and playing baseball, he's sweating a lot and that sort of thing. And I told him, try this, and it will probably help you maintain your
Yeah.
perspiration under your arms. So,
Yeah.
like during baseball season, he does manage the hair growth under his arms to try to help him
Hmm.
maintain his freshness and all of that. But then that other area, he grooms that too. We talked about that and how it's important to groom that. Okay. And then I also, jokingly, me and my son, we have an open relationship, but not too open, because there's some stuff I don't want to talk about.
It's important for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's important. But I talked to him about, managing that as well, especially during baseball season, because honestly, he actually one year got a boil on the inside of his thigh, and he didn't understand where it came from. And I
Wow.
had to explain to him that came from all of that perspiration and sweat from you playing your sports. So you're going to have to make
Yeah.
sure you maintain that, and keep it,
Yeah.
together and trimmed and all of that. And so that's actually something that he likes to do. And then, of course, I threw that little joke in there.
Hmm.
And I was like, the balder, the more length. Think about that,
Yeah.
son. That's
And
all
see,
I'm
the
going to tell
thing
you.
it
The
is,
balder,
the
the
thing
more
it is,
length. Hey,
oh
pay
God.
attention.
Hey,
Hey, pay
but the
attention.
thing it is though, that is so true to have
Oh my God.
two. Oh, she keep getting disconnected for
Oh
some reason.
Lord.
That is
That
so
you
true.
don't.
The more hair like that, you can
Mm.
actually too. A man can have the hairs that will, like you say, you had them things that come in the inside of your thigh.
The
They will
boil.
come up there. You have to bust them. Have them ingrown. The hairs will curl back up in
Mm-hmm.
there. Like, man, you have to keep that mess cut back,
I have to
man.
show
It
them.
is
A good thing is
horrible.
Skin Tight. If y'all haven't ever heard of Skin Tight, very good for that.
Hmm.
It's in the men's
Yeah,
section. I actually use it as an astringent on my face. Like once a week, I'll use the Skin Tight, and it'll any pimples and stuff like that under your skin, it'll bring them to a head. So you can go
gotcha,
ahead and just clear your skin out. But it's Skin
Hmm.
Tight or
gotcha.
like 91 proof alcohol, really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all, I do apologize. One of our panelists dropped down for a second, but she will be back up shortly. I think she was having some technical difficulties
Mhm.
with her connection. So, but we're moving forward, man. One of the other
Mhm.
topics that we want to share with you guys, man, some of you guys are also familiar with one of the biggest R&B um, songwriters, hit makers of all time. But you know, uh, at the rise and fall of his career, at the rise and fall, man. And one of the things that have really impacted him was dealing with young females. But it was not only young females that we would just kind of get more in discussion with here shortly. So, but before we get into that, I want to get the latest opinions about Mr. R. Kelly, man. What do you guys think about R. Kelly?
Good
He's a
I know
child.
he's
musical
a good
genius.
songwriter.
He's a musical genius.
So I want to
Absolutely,
say
I agree.
I want to say this because I have been completely blinded by the whole situation. Is I watched all the series and the first two series. I'm just like, why are they doing this to R. Kelly? I didn't understand. It wasn't until like the third series, once they were like showing clippings of the court, that it finally dawned on me that what he was doing was very wrong.
A sexual deviant.
It was very,
Yeah,
very
it
wrong.
was
Mm-hmm.
it was
It was.
it was really deep and dark. I mean, it was a dark side to
Yeah,
him with that. It was
It
very.
very dark.
was.
Yes.
Uh, and
Um.
so
I
uh,
think with him being young and being molested, I think, he's rooted broken.
Yep.
Is he's rooted broken and
Mm-hmm.
being molested at a young age. And then you got to understand, by family members, like, those are the people that's supposed to protect you. And
mhm,
so the older he got, I think he did it to cover up his pain. I don't know why I feel this way,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he did it to cover up his pain, and not only because of that, he got away with it with money.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about
yeah,
the situation.
But
and
I also feel like on one level you can say that, but once you get to a certain age, once you have been exposed to other things, you know right from
Hmm.
wrong. You know right from
well, they
wrong.
like
And I
well,
think in
I
his
You
agree.
mind,
right.
his celebrity made him feel like the stuff that he was doing, he was protected and he would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and that was wrong. Like, even though you were taken advantage of as a young child, why would you know how much pain and hurt that caused you? Why would you do that to other people?
It's
And
Right.
systematic. It's systematic. It's gonna
mhm,
happen. It happens in a lot of families.
Mm,
They are
that's
raised,
right.
Right.
That's right.
and then the next, somebody in the
mhm,
next family. It's
mhm,
systematic. It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a mental
mhm.
illness.
It
And
is,
see
but
So,
the
his deviance. Okay, his deviance. Okay, if we talk about the family piece, and it was the was it the sister who molested
yeah,
him? Okay,
yeah.
so it was the
Mm-hmm. Yes.
sister. He took it further than that and had deviant experiences with men or young guys. And then he
Mhm.
even, I don't know the best word to say, but he even made some females uh, cut their hair off, made them dress and present themselves as a man. Versus,
How about
so
he
Mhm.
made one girl rub feces all on herself
Yeah,
yes,
and
that
eat
was
it?
sick.
Yes.
that's like horrible.
And
Like,
he what?
so,
And what did you say, Oprah?
He made her rub feces, and it was the girl Azriel Clary because they said her name on
Yeah.
the third series. He made her rub feces all over herself. He humiliated her. He degraded her. She rubbed feces on herself. She ate it. And then you can hear him saying, like, eat it. Don't you like it? And she's responding, like, crying, yes, I like it, daddy. Like, she's eating feces. You're humiliating her,
Mm.
recording this, degrading this woman all for your satisfaction. This is a sick
right.
individual.
Yes,
and you
he
got to
needs.
wonder, you just really have to wonder how does a individual some way somehow get such mind control over a person like these, like this. I mean, to the point
Mhm.
where
Mhm,
they're willing to do such a thing and I mean, and stick with it. I mean, it's like they're
Oh
doing this
yeah.
just to please this individual.
mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but see, now my question
That's
is
good,
too,
CJ.
how did how did it get to this point? My question is that how did it get to this point? Where were the parents of these
There you
children
go.
Agree.
That's the root
that
issue right
Yes.
there.
really
Why did they
and
let
see the
Mhm.
you
thing
go?
is, there's no
Yep.
way a parent in their right mind, and this is my opinion, okay?
Yep.
Mhm.
There's no way my son or my daughter walks out that door and I don't know where they're at.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the top, I'm gonna ask, especially if I don't know they walked out the door, I'm gonna be wondering, where are you? I mean, who told you to go outside? This and that, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And but this is where those type problems kick in at and stem at. Those problems stem from when children are being able to leave out, do what they want to do, go to friends' houses without parents knowing about it, or hanging out downtown and parents don't even know where they're at, and
Mhm.
parents really don't even care, is because it starts at home where a parent gives a child, meaning a child, all of this so-called privacy. And they're not going in their rooms, they're not checking their rooms, they're not seeing what's happening with them in their personal lives. So they're building their own lifestyle behind this closed door. And a parent don't even know what's going
Hmm.
on inside their own home. They
Right.
don't even know what's going
Right.
on.
Right.
Right.
And so when they say, "Mom, I'm going
Hey,
to
everybody.
I'm going to Cynthia's house." Okay, okay, no problem. They don't care. I mean, you're going to Cynthia's house, but you don't know Cynthia and your daughter is going on to R. Kelly's house. And now
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
the money and the lavish things that he's giving them, now all of a sudden, boom, it's done kind of took them over and they,
Subsided.
Mhm.
they can't,
Hmm.
yeah. And now they're like,
Mhm.
they're so overwhelmed with it. Now they're looking like I'm a child and a child gonna think like a child. They're just looking at this as being, oh, I got this. Oh my God. This is this is amazing. And they're
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, they are just fascinated by this. And before you know it, you know, and the parent want to say this man did this to their children. Yes, he did. But at the same time, I feel like the parents should be held accountable just
Because
as
they gave
well
them
as he was.
access. Yeah, they
So
gave
Yeah,
the parents gave access. Had the parents not been so focused on their child trying to becoming famous and being able to sing, if they had kept in the forefront of their brain that I got to keep my child safe, then at no point
exactly.
would they should they have allowed their child to be with R. Kelly and his team without their supervision. And they need to own
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
so I
watching all of
did
these series, they didn't own that.
So I did feel that way in the beginning, especially about Azriel and Joycelyn, two
Mm-hmm.
situations, because I did feel like, their parents just kind of handed them over. Like they put trust in R. Kelly, who they don't know, but because it was R. Kelly, they did kind of just hand their kids over. Especially when it came to like Sparkle's niece, like she just kind of just handed her niece over.
Mm-hmm.
And but I felt like all the other women, some of those women were of age that he
They were.
abused, but I just felt like he just kind of used his social status to take advantage of these women. And it is just, yes, the parents are wrong, but at the end of the day, R. Kelly is just, he really
Oh yeah,
did
it's a
use who
He's a
monster.
he
he's a
was.
sexual
It's a
deviant.
monster. You know,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
he's a
yeah.
sexual
And then
deviant.
and
But
then
those
and
grown
then
women should have had
and
enough.
then
Should have those grown women should have
Yes,
thought enough of themselves to know
absolutely.
that this ain't right. I
Absolutely.
shouldn't be treated like this. And but they
Right.
were too. I think they were too caught up in the fame, wanting
Yes.
to proclaim R. Kelly my man. I done
Hmm.
slept with him. We've had experiences together, so they accepted what he did to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I do believe that as well, that they were just kind of, because like I said, some of these women were of age. Like I think one was like a radio talk show
Mm-hmm.
host, and one,
Hmm.
like some of these women, because if I was put in a situation to where I had a chance to date a celebrity, and if I'm dating a celebrity now, that comes down to self-worth and self-value. Like, do
Hmm.
I value myself enough to have someone degrade me sexually? Like, sir, this don't sound right, and I'm uncomfortable with doing that. Like, I don't care how many threats you make me. I don't
Right.
have to do what you want me
Mm-hmm.
to do. So I do
Hmm.
feel like some of those women should have just walked away. But like the hair braider, she couldn't, because he just did what he did when she was there.
Yeah.
But some of
but
those
see
women did allow him to degrade them.
but see, do you got wouldn't you guys think that being a young teenager or young girl or what have you, they're not at that mindset at that point. They're really not in that mindset of
I can agree.
seeing their self value at that point. You know what I'm saying? They're
Hmm.
Right.
not really thinking about self value. Only
Hmm.
thing
So
they're
they
thinking
accept
about,
anything.
yeah, exactly.
Correct.
They're looking at it where
They will
this
accept
is
anything.
R. Kelly. You know, this is the
Mm-hmm.
only thing, and
You're
it's not
right.
only just it's and the sad part about it is it's not
It's
only
not.
just R. Kelly. R. Kelly the only
Absolutely.
one that's done got caught. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and it's several individuals that seem to wait
Mm-hmm.
till young ladies grow up and become more mature, and then they're taking
Hmm.
their shots. And they you got one of the
Hmm.
main
Mm-hmm.
gurus right now that's after these little young girls and dating these
Hmm.
little young girls and got daughters
Yes.
just about their same age.
Right.
But that
And
goes
see,
also back to the home. The parents have to make sure that they're talking to their children and making sure they know what they should and shouldn't accept, making sure that they tell them that they're beautiful every day, that they're
Absolutely.
worthy every day, that you deserve to be treated like this, that, and the third every day. Because if they're not growing up in an environment where that is being horned in, that's where they're being
Mm-hmm.
nurtured, then they're not going to know when they get out there in the world and they start dealing with different types of
Absolutely.
men.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
So
and
what
just like,
about
absolutely, man.
the parents that do raise their daughters
Hmm.
well and show them love and give give them what they need so that
Hmm.
they could go out in the world and I've seen parents that went beyond and beyond for their kids, and they still go out in the world and do the exact same thing with a child that's not been shown. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not technically like raising them and showing them the way, because you can show them the right way and they'll still
Mm-hmm.
go out there and get someone that
Mm-hmm.
treat them wrong or not living it. It like some kids will go out for the opposite. You can teach
Yeah.
them, you can show
Yeah,
them and teach them the right way, and they'll still go out and just get the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I've
yeah.
seen it too many times.
I
And to
Well,
think
I was
social
piggyback
just
on that,
media.
to
I was just
piggyback on that, um, sometimes you can give your children a little bit too much. You
I was
know,
just gonna say
Mm-hmm.
that, Ro,
you
because
can get,
sometimes
you
a
can.
parent can
Hmm.
smother their children with so much
Mm-hmm.
love, so much affection, so much support. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's a bad thing, but if you're an overbearing parent, then it's not going to make you want to be a good kid. It's like if my parents
Mm-hmm.
constantly give me a curfew, giving me all this, not letting me be a kid, not letting me make these mistakes, then the first thing I want to do when I get free is make mistakes.
Yeah.
All right, let
I
me
know
let
Yeah.
me
And
that's
I
let me
They
think
right.
do
I
it.
think
hold,
I think
hold that
social
right there.
media contributes to it too. I
Hold
think
that thought.
Yes.
Hold that
No.
thought
Yes.
right there.
mhm.
Let
Let
me
me
ask
just
y'all
say this
this.
one
Let me
thought.
ask y'all
Yeah, I
this.
promise you I don't talk a lot. Let me just say this one thought. Another thing is you can't be too strict on your children either.
Mhm.
Because if you
Yes.
are,
Yes. That's
they're gonna what is the word? They're going to
Act
be
out.
Rebel.
rebellious. They're gonna
Exactly.
be
Mhm.
rebellious
mm-hmm.
and they're gonna do what they want to do. So you got to have a balance when you're teaching these young ladies and these young men. You know, a lot of people would
All right,
say to
let me
me,
ask y'all this.
okay, all right,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I
no,
thought
that's
you
all
was
right.
through.
You
Mike,
go
go ahead.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
let me ask
done.
y'all this. So, what's different about the way we were raised, and it seemed to have worked a whole lot better than we're saying now that this day and time with the generation, it's all about being too strict or it's being too overbearing. Is that just the mindset that we are choosing to put ourselves in, all
No.
because we want to put, have these
Mm-mm.
kids to be able to do what they want to do?
So me and my mom had this conversation all the time, and I grew up. I was born in 1990. My mom being born in 1965. My mom was raised out of fear. She feared her mother. She feared her father. So therefore, she didn't want to do anything to disappoint her parents. Me, on the other end, being raised in 1990, my mom and dad was married up until I was about 13. Then they divorced, and it's like I felt like I was allowed to be who I was as an individual, but I'm just not afraid of whatever system that she had in place for her. I'm not afraid of that system. I'm going to do things my way. I want to do things differently because I don't want to be raised out of fear. I don't want to raise my son out of fear because I feel like back in the day, her mom was just so strict with her that she was just so afraid to disappoint her mother that she wanted to be perfect. So with parenting, it's a fine line with parenting because everybody is raised differently. But I feel like back in the
Hmm.
days, a lot of people were raised out of fear. Like they just did what they did. It's just like the social norm. They did
Mhm.
what their parents did because that's all they knew what to do. Like they didn't wasn't taught anything else.
Mhm.
They just repeated the
But
process.
you know what though? I have to disagree with that because it's not fear, and but you do want to put fear in your child's heart. You do. Because see, if you don't
Just
put
a
fear in
little.
them,
Yes.
hold on, let me show you now. Because and you're right, just
Mm-hmm.
a little. But see, the thing it is, you show them fear and love. You don't just show them
Mm-hmm.
fear, 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 fear. Because see, now to what Oprah just said, I don't want to be raised out of fear, but you will fear the police when the police get a hold to them. The police is going to put fear
That's true.
in their heart to get them to do what they want them to do.
That's good.
And they
Mhm.
going to tell them
Mhm.
straight up and down, you either going to do what I say or I'm going to break you down. And what are you going to do? You going to do what they say. And
Or you gonna be
so
gone.
exactly. And see, the thing it is, this generation now, they're so stuck on trying to express themselves. And this is my opinion, to the point where the expression then got completely disrespectful. And it's then came
Mm-hmm.
to a point where it's like, even it's done got to a point where they done turned their back on God. To the point it's like, you can't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear about no God. I want to express myself. You didn't create yourself. Mama, you came from mom and daddy. So it's to the point now where
Mm-hmm.
mom and dad are having to take the back seat to parenting and accept what a child expressed themselves to want to do. And this it can be also the case what puts kids in positions that have got connected with people such as like R. Kelly's, because I want to express myself. Now I'm afraid to even raise my child because I don't want to hurt my child's feeling. I want to give my child this much room to be able to do what they want to do, all because I don't want to make my child upset. No, I'm going to be strict on my child because, see, for one, if you don't, at that point, they going to buck up against you and they going to stand toe to toe with you when you try to put rules and regulations in place. They going to let you know, I'm not doing that. And what are you going to do as a parent at that point?
So my child is 3 and I'm a single mother. And I want to say this because I have a different style of parenting. And
Yeah.
I try to respect my son, even though he's so young. I'm not going to fake the funk. I have a very intelligent boy. He's very, very smart, very respectable. But sometimes it does get hard because he does, like TJ says, he does kind of buck up at me. I feel like there's a way and a tone that I can talk to him to let him know like this particular action is unacceptable. Versus when I grew up, like when my mom and dad was together, they would whoop me. Like I felt like my opinion didn't matter. Me as a kid, I didn't matter. And if I did something that they didn't like me doing, I knew that I would get a whooping for it. And I don't feel like that's a way to raise a child because you should be able to you should allow your kids to have some type of expression in themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say
Okay.
that I do like how this show is just this podcast is just flowing and how we have just flowed into the third topic of parenting.
Mm-hmm. I love
um,
it.
um, Teenagers, but I believe that you can learn what not to do from anybody. You can learn what not to
Mm-hmm.
do from a criminal, from your parents. Like I even recently, me and some other family members were having a conversation, and I broke it down. I'm not going to say that my parents' way of parenting was wrong because they did what they thought they should do at the time. Life is a
Right,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
continuous, it's a continuous learning lesson. So there was different
right.
things that my mom and dad experienced that they didn't want to bring to the table with us. But there was other aspects that they did want to bring to the table with
Right,
us. And so
right.
I can remember how many probably whoopings I got on one hand throughout myself growing up. But my children, I explained that to them as well. If a spanking is warranted, that's what's going to happen. If you're not going to listen and understand, and you're going to continue to feel like you're going to do what you want to do, then I'm going to handle you accordingly. And I mean
Exactly.
that because sometimes people or even children ask for stuff. Like after you have tried to tell them or show them repeatedly, don't do this, don't do that, this ain't good for you, that ain't good for you. They evidently, I feel like they need a little bit more love because you ain't listening and you're not comprehending that this is not good for you. This could put you in a precarious
Absolutely.
situation. So I'm going to handle you accordingly. I've even had
Absolutely.
conversations recently with my son where he's even told me that his friends' parents. So, okay, so we're in the day and age, I'll just put it out there. We're in the day and age where, of course, smoking marijuana is some states legal. Okay, it's
Yeah.
legal.
Yes.
Other states it's still, not legal. But he has had friends where his friends have bucked up at their parents and told them, "Well, y'all smoke. Why? Excuse me? Don't even come at me like that. I don't care what I do. Do you pay the bills? Do you pay my mortgage? Do you pay my
Right.
water, power, gas? Do you put food on the table? Do not compare yourself to me because you have not even begun to live. Do you understand what I have
Mm-hmm.
already been through? Please don't compare the two. And like I even told my son, because he even had to tell his friends, nah, I can't talk to my mama like that. You sure cannot.
And that's true.
You
Because see,
sure
I had a seven.
cannot.
I talked to a
Yes.
17. Go ahead,
I
Rose.
don't have those worries.
But
Praise
Well,
he
God.
told him flat out, my mama don't
Praise.
play like that. My mama don't play like that. She's explained more than once that we are not on the same playing field. Okay? Please no. And
so
You
until
so
and you
how
you
do
have
you feel? So how do you feel knowing that he's hanging out with these friends that do
Mhm.
disrespect their mom? How do you feel
That's a
um
about
very
that?
good question. That's a very good question.
I have told him that they need to be glad that they not my children because there's certain things, certain levels I won't accept. And I've even told him
Yes.
flat out, you live a good life. So when you get to the point where you feel like you can do it on your own, everything I done bought you, make sure you leave it here. Make sure you leave it here, and I'm gonna go and let
Oh,
you
he
go
gonna
about
feel
right,
your
that.
right.
business, and you gonna get it
Yes.
on your own. I've even told him at your age, like we've had all kinds of conversations. Once you decide to participate in intercourse, you better wear protection at all times. You play
Yes.
baseball, you
Right.
good at it, you're in high school. Some girls are gonna come after you feeling like you're gonna be their ticket. You ain't their ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Books and boys, they don't mix. Okay, so don't put yourself in that situation
Yes.
because if you do, guess where you finna be in? You finna be living in that garage. I promise. I'm gonna
In the
put a little
garage.
bed. Yeah. I'm gonna put
Not the garage.
a roll out bed down there,
But
and you gonna
see,
get it. You gonna get it how you live. If you cannot respect my home and my rules, that's how you gonna get it. And like me and
That's
my
right.
ex-husband, we have a great co-parenting relationship. I never would have thought we would, but we do. And he's even told him the same thing. If you can't maintain at home with your mama, you think you're gonna come with me and get what you, no, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. I'm gonna let you get it how you
Right.
live. Since you think you're grown and you can do it on your own, get it how you live. Like all your luxuries. Do you think your phone would still be on if I wasn't paying the bill?
Right.
And you
Right.
go to school full time, play sports, plus you got a job. But there's
But see,
certain luxuries in your life you don't have to worry about. And you need to keep that at the forefront of
Mm-hmm.
your brain.
and see, that's why that's the reason why I say this thing where we have came up with that the system has created about kids or children, even at such a young age, having this platform of expressing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to them, you're saying, okay, we need to give them all this expression room and platform. But if I give them a bill to pay, can they pay the bill? If I give them a contract to sign, can they sign the contract? If I give them responsibilities, can they maintain the responsibilities? But yet we want to give them a platform of expressing themselves. As long as you're up
Mm-hmm.
under my roof, it ain't no expressing yourself because you're gonna have plenty of time to express yourself
That's
when you
right.
become an adult. Because see, your
That's right.
expression may get your teeth knocked out. And see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type, I'm not the type to sit here and if I know for one, I'm gonna love my child, I'm gonna teach my child right. I'm not gonna tell my child anything to harm you or to hurt you. And I
Mm-hmm.
got the best interest, for my child. I'm gonna discipline you,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna talk to you, and I'm gonna tell you why.
got
Because see, I let my children know every butt whooping you get, it did not come to you. You went to it. You
Mm-hmm.
did what you did to earn that butt whooping. So it is not like it happened just out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
It happened because you approached it. You went and you earned that. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to sit back and tell me, Dad, I need to talk to you. What's wrong, baby? Um, I feel like you was wrong for whipping me. Oh, you want another one? That's my response.
Well, I
Because
don't
I,
take
I,
it.
I
I
Okay.
don't. I don't take it that far. I think there's a difference between being an authoritative parent and authoritarian. Authoritarian is it's
Mhm.
always my way, so we not listening
Right.
to the child. An authoritative parent is you're communicating. You're communicating. You're talking about it.
Mhm.
So if they felt like after they received the whooping, number one, I agree with you with as to explaining to them as to why you're getting ready to get this spanking or you're getting this whooping. Okay.
that's where the
But if
talking
they
came in at.
right, if they come back and say, okay, Dad, can I talk to you about this? Dad, I don't feel like
Right.
I deserve this whooping because I did this because of this, that, and the third. Then you should be open minded enough to listen to them and let
Yeah.
them explain why they feel like it was a wrong move on your part. Like the action has already taken place. Like, and maybe that's the
Absolutely.
psychologist in me because I make me and my children have since they've been here, we have very open conversations to where I give them the
Yeah.
opportunity to express themselves and tell me
Mhm.
why they did this, why they felt this way. And then I
Right.
turn around and I'll tell them as to why they were wrong and what could have happened by them choosing their actions. Okay, only mama know about it and only mama finna give you this spanking. But guess what if the police knew about it? What if you hurt this person? What if you hurt that person? This, that, and the third could have happened because I feel like they need to know so that they'll be able to make better decisions as they get older. They'll learn how to think through things and why they shouldn't
Absolutely.
do certain things if
Mhm.
you showing them the cause and the action and the cause
Cause
and
and
the reaction.
effect.
Yeah.
That's what thing.
Cause and
Mm,
effect.
yes, we have to
But you know
teach
Mhm.
them
what
that.
though? To that point, and that's true. But see, before, like say for instance myself, before you even get to a whooping, it's like chain of command with me a lot of times.
Mhm,
You get talked to. You need to straighten your butt up. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's talk, 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 talk. Once it reaches to that point, don't come to me telling me you that dad why because let's look back at it a few days ago or a week ago or over
mhm,
and over and over again you've been talked to and
mhm,
you still you warranted this butt whipping at that point. So expressing yourself now, why didn't you express yourself to listen before it got to
Mhm.
that point? You see what I'm
mhm,
saying? Because see, we are big on this expressing with kids, but why not get the child to understand? Think about it before you even get to that point. That's where it begins at. Think about it
mhm,
before you even get to that point that you don't have to face those issues.
But
And
see,
that's the biggest thing I look at with my children is because I need you to think first. Don't think after the
mhm,
fact. Because see, with police officers, let's go to that. You stand there and they got you in handcuffs. You trying to feel like you can express yourself, and they tell you to shut up. Try to keep expressing yourself and see what happens. You got to learn how to think first before you go to trying to act
Now,
things
yes.
out.
so I mean, just in my opinion, kids have different learning styles, and just like every parent
Absolutely.
have
Mhm.
different parenting styles. So some kids may not
Absolutely.
reciprocate the discipline or the correcting of their actions because it's not clicking with them. So that means you have to find a
Exactly.
way to parent your child because, hey, I can yell at this. I'm not gonna even say yell. I can tell this child you're acting up, you're doing wrong, and they correct the issue. But I may have this other child that I do the same thing with, but it just ain't the plug ain't hitting the
That's
socket.
true. That
So
is so
that's when you
true.
have to kind of take a step back to try to understand your child. So that does come into where you like have to let them express themselves because every child just don't get it. Like that's why like I understand what you're saying, and I definitely agree with Chantel on what she was saying about parenting because it's like
Mhm.
either my way or no other way. But some kids just don't get it. Like
You're
they
right.
just
You're
don't.
right. Every child is different, and all of your children in the
Very
house is
different.
disciplined different. And I talk. Me
Hmm.
and my wife talks about this. Every child, like you said, you can tell one can get it from just looking at how the other one got it, and they'll be like,
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna straighten up. I'm not
Because
gonna
I
do
don't
this.
want to
Daddy
get
told me to do this. Or
reprimanded.
Mama told me to do.
Right.
Exactly. So they do. That's true. And
Hmm.
and and that be the case, man. Some children just catch on a whole lot quicker than others.
Right.
Now, I had a brother. I got a well, I ain't gonna say I had a brother. I got a brother that it looked like the more whippings he got, the meaner he got. I mean, he never cried. He never cried when he got a whooping. I mean, it was so backwards. But when he couldn't get something he wanted and he go to crying, he'll cry then. But as far as a butt whipping, he would not cry. And even to this
Well,
day,
Wow.
he is so stubborn.
I was
He
just
got a
about to say
stubbornness
that.
about himself. But see, he got a stubbornness, but he's real quiet. But he's
Mhm.
always been like this.
You
And
gotta watch
then
the
on top of
quiet ones.
that,
They're gonna
then
pop
on
in your
top of
Mhm.
that,
Yes.
when he lost his 3-year-old son too, it was just it just he's just completely. I mean, he just don't cry. He don't show no emotion.
When he lost his
And
son, he didn't cry.
yeah,
When
he
he,
did then, but I'm saying, but now it just made him that much more. Just
Mhm.
he don't show no
angry.
emotions, but he get angry quick.
Emotionless.
He get
Hmm.
angry quick though. He get
Yeah.
angry real
Yeah.
real
I was
quick.
gonna say he gotta be
But
angry. He just
He must
holding
be a
yeah, and
in.
so
Taurus.
yeah, I don't know what he was born. He was in June. His birthday in June.
He
So
a
I don't
Gemini.
know
That's
what all
crazy.
of
Oh,
that.
he a
No,
Gemini.
yeah, he got two or three
Well,
both
it depends.
personalities.
Well, you
Is
got
he at
different
the end
parts
of
of June.
June? Is he at the end
That's
Yeah,
of
what I was
June the
about
June?
to say.
16th.
Oh no,
He's a
he
June
a
the
Gemini.
16th. I
Gemini.
think that's
Yeah, he's a
He
true
a
yeah.
Gemini.
Gemini. If
You
he
know
was the
what? My
last week
brother
of
is
June, he would be a
Gemini.
Cancer.
Crazy.
Cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Hmm
But he, like I said, he don't bother nobody. But the thing it is, my point back to what we was talking about. I mean, he would get disciplined, but it just wouldn't. I mean, it just wouldn't click with him. I mean, no matter what you did to him. And now, like with me, I got my butt whooped, but it looked like I just went for some reason. I go right back. I
You was
just
See,
hard
couldn't get
headed.
right.
You was
I,
hard headed too. I
Yes.
see it. I
Yes.
see
but
it.
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, what's the next topic?
Hey, I want to
Well,
say this. With my youngest son, what you just talked about, my youngest son is like that. His father did not want me to spank him at all. He was like about 3 and he did something, I just tap him on the hand. No, 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 no. He didn't
hmm
like that at all. And what he said was, it makes men rebellious, mean and stuff like that. So he didn't get a lot of whoopings, my
it did.
youngest.
We got our butt whooped. It did not make us. It made us stern because we understood
hmm
where my dad came from. But the thing it is, though,
Hmm.
I guess it's a different. Cause we had my mom and my dad. My mom and dad are still together to this day. They've been married now for about 54 years. So we've
Hmm.
been had them.
Yes.
We had nurturing love from mom, and we had tough love from dad.
So it
And so
balanced
we
out.
it balanced itself out.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So daddy demanded us, that we carry ourselves a certain way around our mom, uh, and that was for the respect of women. We did not walk around the house in no wife beater. We didn't walk around no house in without a shirt on. We didn't walk around the house without a belt on. It was all
Hmm.
about respecting your mom. That's
Hmm.
how he
Hmm.
expected us to do, because he knew we was gonna have to grow up and be men at some point. And if we
Hmm.
don't start
Yes.
respecting mom as a woman now, then we would not respect her as we got older. And so,
Hmm.
and it helped me to this day,
Get away.
because the way I even carry myself, I respect my daughters. My daughters.
Hmm.
Now, I mean, the way I treat my
Get
daughters.
away from that door.
Even if I have to get on to my daughters, I would get them.
I think you
And
need
that
to
boy,
hit
you
mute.
can tell she told she heard you. Yeah, we heard you, Rosa.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
we did.
Hey,
You hit the
hey,
Right
camera
now.
instead of mute.
it,
You hit the camera
it
instead
comes
of
out.
mute, girl.
Yeah,
These
it comes
kids,
out
these
before you know it.
kids.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Rosa. It
Hmm.
comes out before you know it.
Hmm.
Hey,
Oh
I'm
my
But
telling you,
God.
I'm glad.
it is how
I'm,
you raise them up, and they have to have a nice
yeah,
balance. Like one thing, my son, he just already knows if he's going to the car with me, I better not touch a car door. He's gonna open that car door. He gonna let me get in, and
That's
he's
a
gonna
good
close
thing.
the car door. If he hears me pull up, he come outside and he do the same thing. I had him doing that from like 5, 6 years old, and he's
Oh
still doing
wow.
Yes,
now. And I told him, like,
wow,
when he get his woman that he
that's
wants to be
awesome.
with, you open that door for her. She don't
That's
open the door
exactly
for
right.
herself. And so he still
wow.
do it. So I think it's just little things that you
Yeah.
show them
Yes.
as time goes, and it'll eventually sink in. It'll eventually sink in.
And
But
long or
um,
short,
Yeah,
when you teach your children these things when they're young, it's instilled in them, and you want
yeah,
Yes.
them to treat their young lady or their girlfriend or their wife the same way that they treated you. And even if you
right,
didn't
mhm,
treat
right,
me like that, I'm teaching you. This is what I want you to do and present
right,
yourself.
right.
And you
Yes.
just, hmm
mhm,
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
yeah,
So how y'all feel about the system? Do you think the system give our kids a lot of leeway of doing whatever they want to do now?
I do,
Yep,
When you say
I
the
do.
system, what do you mean? Do you
yep.
mean the school system or the legal system?
Both.
Legal system.
Hmm. School
Yeah,
system,
Mhm.
most
both.
definitely. School system is a
Yep.
lot more
Mm-hmm.
lax than it was when we were in school. Um, my opinion. The legal system is becoming more lax. Just where they're
Mm-hmm.
changing different rules and laws. Like, of course, now you're not fixing to do hard time for marijuana and things of that sort. But yeah, it's becoming more lax. But I feel like a big breakdown is, and I know this is maybe might be taboo, but I just think if our generation, what are we? We were the millennials, or I'm a millennial. Millennials born in the 80s and that sort of thing. I think they have more of a raising their children coincides more with like the baby boomers and all of that, where the household was
Mm-hmm.
still a little bit more structured. It was more
Mm-hmm.
structured, maybe a little bit more strict. But I think a lot of the kids these days, their parents had them young. So they haven't
Yes.
I can agree with
instilled
that.
a lot of things in them that we learned or were taught as we were younger. So, like even TJ talking about how they want to express themselves and say this and say that, they didn't grow up like we did, where I know you ain't talking to your mama or grandma without saying yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir.
Yeah, they have an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to say yes and no, but it's the tone that you say it in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot
Yes.
of parents are not teaching their, and I ain't gonna say a lot, I'm gonna say a percentage
Mm-hmm.
of parents are teaching their children that, it's okay to say yes and no, but it's how you say it. And then
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to piggyback on, um, you said, do you think the system is whatever your statement was, or question was? Um, yeah, the school system is going to be a little because they're fed up with these bad children. I think
Yes.
that's one of the root causes of these teachers retiring and resigning and going into new,
Yes.
professions, because these children are not taught at home. When you're taught at home, then you know how to act when you get to school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I can agree with
Mm-hmm.
that,
right,
Ro,
right.
because like even though I'm not a yes ma'am, no ma'am household, but I am a you have to respect people. Like you have to say yes, there's no saying what to adults. You have to if someone calls your name, you gotta respond. Like I'm big on that. I do agree that the school system are very lenient because I have a friend, her kids act up. And she is just blind to the fact that her kids are bad, but she's also one of those people who have had kids at a very young age. I think she might have had her first child at 14. So she's like, she's a baby raising a
Okay.
baby, and so her kids lack a lot of structure. So they are being raised in school while she's still learning how to be a parent. Because right now I think her oldest is turning 9 or something, and she barely 25.
Oh wow.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
that
should
makes a difference,
clarify
man.
and not say the kids are bad. Maybe I should just say that they have behavioral issues, and that's due to their environment and their
Yeah.
surroundings. What their
Yeah,
home
they
life.
lack structure.
I won't say that all kids
Look,
are bad.
look, 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 look. Hold on. Let's just call it like it is. We have to stop trying to politically say that they're just bad. That's all it is. It's just bad. It ain't no
I knew you
behavior.
were gonna say
It ain't no behavior. Nothing. They just bad because they will cuss you up one side and down the other, and then be ready to shoot you. I mean, that's just how they are. I mean, because they just like, did you guys hear about the 6-year-old that took a gun to school and shot his teacher?
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
anybody hear about the
I'm
boy that
telling
had
you.
25.
I'm
25.
telling you.
shot and killed his mom
And guess
over a game
what?
system?
Yes, of a
He
game system.
knew.
He was 10. I think that little boy was 10. And you killing your mom over a game system?
Now
And
No.
you
then when they
now
asked him
let's
how
go
he
back to this
felt, he said, "Did
behavior.
y'all put my PlayStation back up?" I'm like, what?
Man, look, now we want to talk about behavior. Man, we got to call it like it is. That's what it is. We got
Now
to
I
call it
can
like it
agree with
is.
you, TJ. We do have to call it like it is,
Yes.
but some kids just, like I said, some kids just ain't got it all. They not playing with a full deck. Like,
That's true. I ain't laughing at that, but I'm just laughing at how you said it. That's all.
We
like
want
they
to
just,
be politically correct, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
like they
You
just,
have to be,
Well,
you have to be cautious and
hey,
careful of how you
hey,
state things.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Hey, y'all, but check this out, man. Once again, we want to remind you guys that we are here with In the Den podcast, episode 1. Man, we have had some banger conversations, and we have come to the end of this journey on this episode, guys. We want to make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel, and make sure you share this thing out, man, and make sure that you guys keep in tune with In the Den podcast. So, guys, we're actually going to get ready to say goodbye to you guys for right now, but make sure you guys stay tuned. Watch out for us coming again with episode 2, and you don't want to miss it. So, until the next time, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you guys. Peace.
Have a good night.
Have a good